Alright, so I've been wanting to make a game for quite a while anyways, and I'm going to start with a platformer game using the Construct 2. It's going to be an action platformer, probably pretty basic to begin with. I figured I would just kind of record it as I go along so that people can learn with me. I'll edit the videos to edit out anything when I go searching for certain information or whatnot, just to try and keep things shorter. Um, and as I try different things and fail, and just to show what works and how things are done. Yeah. So, anyways, let's. I'm gonna set the project properties window size. I'm going to do that at 1600 by 900. So it just has the 16 by 9 aspect ratio. Um, let's go back to the layout. And I did that to switch that. I was on the layout, and if you just go to the project properties up here and hit view, you can come down here, and that's where I found the window size. And then if I just click back over here on the layout, it takes me back out to the layout properties. So for right now, if you hold control and use your mouse wheel, you can kind of zoom out, and you can see that the dotted lines there, that's going to be the what's seen on the screen. And I want to change the layout size. I'm going to make this fairly large for right now. We can always shorten it up later on, but let's just do, I'm just going to do 2000 by 2000. Alright, and then if I control and zoom out, you can see that I've got lots of space to work with. It's just going to be probably working your way down. I think I'm going to keep this to kind of like an inner dungeon type of a platformer, but things may change as I go along. So I have a tile set that I've already created and gotten ready for this. So if I just double click in on anywhere on the screen there, and I'm gonna do tile map. I'll click there, and I'm gonna open. I've got the sprites, but actually I think I screwed up with that sprite sheet. I did, because what happened when I created that sprite sheet, as you can see here, I've got the two different angles, but they're both showing up in the one 32 by 32 block instead of separately. So actually I need to go and change that, so I will do that now. Alright, so I've fixed that. I'm just going to go in here and change the tile sheet to the new one. So if I just double click back in here, open up, same place, what I did is I just excluded those ones from that tile map, and if I need to use them, I'll insert them separately as a sprite. So I like to begin with just the level design, and then I'll probably go in and work on menus and whatnot later on. I just kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not too sure where I'm going to go with this quite yet, but to start it, it's going to be on the inside, and I want to use these with the orange. So let's do kind of the wall. We'll choose that one there. And I've already got this set for 32 by 32. And I'm going to zoom in. I believe this should be set for 32 by 32. View 32, yes. And that. So let's just kind of zoom in here. And let's start with this. So, start the player down around here. We can just kind of drag these along. And we're going to go up the wall there. I'm not too concerned about, like I know this corner piece here won't have that orange effect in it, but that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that right now. I will probably end up changing these graphics later on. So anyways, going on, we're going to take this piece here. Now this tile, this would normally be for the bottom part of it, but what I'm going to do is if I come up here, I can flip it. And then I can just, actually, you know what, we're going to do, I think it would be this one to flip it, yeah. So we'll kind of come out, and we'll keep it flipped, and just kind of come back along here, and then now we're going to go, let's go back down, but this time we're going to flip it horizontally. Actually, we don't have to because I've got the horizontally that way. Bring it back down. So this is just kind of the first room there. And if I take that one and flip it, I can do that. Keep it flipped, and we'll just kind of do the top. Do that again. And maybe down there. We're just going to bring this back down. To the player level. Alright, so I'm just going to fill this in. And actually, I probably should have started up higher, maybe. Alright, so, but maybe I can have them come up and then back down. So let's do that. So I'll take that flip off, and we're just gonna bring this back up. Let's actually, just to not make that so boring, we'll just throw a, how do I want to do it? Let's just kind of need that. Throw a little bit of a jump up there. Make them come across there on the platform. Back down. Fill that up with dirt. All right. And let's, whoops, change that tile over there. And I guess maybe just do, maybe just kind of one smaller one there. And come across. And back down. If I right click, I can remove some tiles there. And so for that, is it this one that I need to flip? Yes. So we're going to change that like that. Keep it flipped for the ceiling here. And maybe then we'll start to bring it back up. So we don't need that on anymore right now. Now we could put in maybe something that just will be rising. Like a platform that rises up and brings the character back up or the player back up. We'll do another set there. Another set there. Either way, let's set that back like that, because this is going to be kind of coming in here. And he's going to come back up. And actually, wrong one. I need that tile. And then we'll bring this back here. now that's going to be on, switch over to my layers here. I'm going to make this the tile map layer. So if I click on the layer and hit F2, it'll bring me into rename. I'm just going to put tile map, hit enter. I'm going to create a new layer for, and then again hit F2. I'm going to do this, call it tile objects layer. And then with that one selected, I'm just going to double click in here. Lock that out. Select this, and then I'm going to go to sprite. Let's bring in the tiles for this. So we're going to open up and use this tile, I think. And this should be so. Whoops, did not mean to do that. Usually, there we go. And so now I've got this, and if I go back to my projects, I've got the sprite here. I'm just going to name this one here for, we're just going to call it tile platform for now. And now if I click on it, instead of creating multiple of the same, if I just click on it and if I hit control and click on it and drag it off, it creates another instance of it. Behavior of a solid so that they don't go through it. And it is going to have sign movement. We'll set that up later, but it is going to be vertical movement. Yes. Click that out. So we're gonna click and drag to select all of them, all three. We're gonna bring it over, so I'm gonna have it roughly right about there. Actually, I'm gonna go up here and just show my grid. And so the player can jump up onto it right about there. Alright, so bring that over. So what I did there when I changed this, the points up here for the image points, I set it to 0 and 0 for X and Y so that I prefer it to fit directly into the box. If you notice before it was kind of in the middle, and I didn't like that. So, and then that way it keeps it more even with setup with the tile mapping. So we'll have that. That will raise the player up. We'll probably try and make it up to about here, and then they'll have to leap off. So I'm going to just maybe we'll leave. So if I come back here to the layers, and I'm going to come back to the tile map. I'll lock that, unlock the tile map, and switch back over to my tile map. Let's finish that off. So there and there, and actually we need to fix this as well. This needs to be just plain old dirt. There and there, so that fits in. All right, so we'll have to put a background in there, but I don't know what I'm going to use yet for the background. Now right now, so real quick, let's just, we'll go into our layers. We have to go back to the tile objects. Let's lock that. We'll do one more. I'm just going to make this the player layer. And on the player layer, I'm going to add a sprite. We're just going to do a quick box here. We'll resize it to 32 by 32. Give her a color. What do we want? Let's go with that. Okay, and we're going to set the behaviors real quick. Scroll to and platform behaviors. Let's move the player over here for runtime. We do have to set the tile map back in the projects. Where's my tile map? Oh, there it is, tile map. We're going to set the behaviors on that. I'm going to make that a solid so that the player doesn't fall through. And let's run it real quick. Alright, so this is what it looks like so far. So I can kind of move, jump up here, come down here, jump up here. Now obviously I didn't select all three when I did that behavior. So I'll have to fix that. But essentially all three of these would be going up, and I'll have to bring it up higher. And I'll also have to change the collision on it to take that down so that there's not that space right there. So let's close that. We'll come back here. We need to go to our tile objects layer. Let's come over here. Because I set that, these ones are, oh, I have to set each one for vertical and vertical. Okay. If I double click back into this image, I'm going to get rid of the transparency edges there. So that should take care of it for all of those. Let's try running it again. Just bring this over so that you can see it. So there we go, it is working. I'm down level with it, that's good. It goes into the floor, which I don't want, but that's okay, we can fix that. Alright. So I'm going to bring the positioning up higher. I'm going to double that. So I've doubled that, it changes the range there. So that also means I'm going to need to bring it up just a little bit higher so it doesn't keep going into the floor there. So let's close that out and maybe bring this up one more. And I could actually probably change the magnitude. Let's try changing it to 90. And we'll run that. Bring this back over. So player comes over, la-di-da-di-da, jumps up, and can get up top. Alright, so that works so far. Alright. So let's, and did I change that object to player? No, we're going to change that sprite name. Sorry, I double clicked. So F2, change the name to player for that sprite so that we know what it is. And I'm going to organize this. I like to keep this organized. So if you right click on object type, add subfolder, I'm going to make a player subfolder. Let's do enemy subfolder. Enemies, and we'll just do for now object tiles, I guess. So player, we'll put player in player, The tile map we're going to leave out. The tile platform I'll put in the object tiles, and we don't have any enemies yet. Now I am going to, if we go back into the player, double click to bring that up. I just want to scroll in, and I'm going to do a line here. I just want to set that to, do I want, we'll use white, I guess. I'm just going to kind of do a bit of a triangle here. I know it's not going to be perfect, but what the hey. Just kind of gives me an idea with the direction that the sprite is facing. So just gonna brighten this up completely. That should be one more. And this just needs right there. All right, and just to kind of make it more even there. All right, so now we know which way the player is facing later on when we get into the controls. So gonna save that. And let's see, what do I want to do now? Let's finish along here. I don't really want to come back as far, so I think what we'll do, back to your tile map layers and bring up your tile map. This is just going to be like a little room in here. Player can then come back. Yeah, let's do that. So, what do we want to do this? Let's do the am I not on my, oh, I have it locked. Let's unlock that and go back to tile map, and we'll kind of do a step up. So maybe there'll be something in this little area here for the player to get. We'll fill this with the dirt. And I can use the rectangle tile tool here to do a large area, so that I can just kind of come up here and make all of that dirt. One more over, I guess, for now. Switch it back and flip that. And I'm going to bring that down, that down, that down. All right, so we're starting to get a little bit of a setup here. How far up does that bar go? let's bring this up real quick. So I think what I'm going to do, so it kind of comes up to the middle one there, right? Yeah. And the player will then be up here. Let me bring my player over here. I have to make that jump through as well. So the player would be here. Make them get back on it in order to jump over one that's going horizontally. So let's do that. But before I forget, we need to go to layers. Let's log that. Projects. We need to set all three of those. We need to add behavior. And there it is. Jump through. Perfect. Now, alright, so now the player should be able to come over here, and if he's below it, he or she's below it, jump. No, it didn't give. Did it only do it on the one again? Jump through. It didn't do it. Why didn't you do it? Oh, because I have jump. Might be because I have the solid in there. What if I take solid out? Yes, I want to do that. Did it do it for all? Let's undo this both here. All right, so all of these. Yes, all right, so let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so the solid can't be in it because the jump through will make it a solid. It's just that they can jump through it, and that works good. Okay.